vlogON, vlogit. vlogON, vlogit. vlogON, vlogit. Do it now.
I want y'all to vlogON, vlogit. Yeah.
This is the Hut 9, of course. I'm here today with. So what's going on, Ori? What you been up to?
Nothing much. Just work. As you know, my current project with the jewelry line. Actually, I finished my book.
Your book?
I did finish my book.
Oh my God, your book. Tell us
well,
about
remember
that book.
I was telling you about it, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I finished the book. In the process of trying to get it edited and then published. But the book talks about a lot of personal stuff in my life, but it's not direct. The main character isn't me, and I don't want people to think it's me. It's not me, but it talks a lot about a lot of things that happens to her has happened to me, and a lot of things that she has done. I'm speaking personal experiences on a lot of stuff.
What is the book about? What's the name of the book? I mean, what's the name of the
Truth.
book? Truth.
It's really good though. I've actually had 3 close friends and a relative read it. So even from when they read it, I changed up a couple stuff, but it's actually a really good book. It's actually about a girl. She grew up in a very privileged family. Her dad was real strict when it came to her and her siblings. She was very sheltered. She was dating a guy that was preppy, and then ended up meeting a rebel guy that kind of swept her off her feet. She didn't know what type of lifestyle he was living, but she got caught up in it, like to the point where she started doing a lot of things that he was doing.
So it's a cautionary tale. It's more like, is it more like a cautionary tale for young women who sometimes find themselves in those similar relationships? All right. So how did you get into building this character? Like, I know you don't, it's not necessarily about you, but
right.
Like, have you been in a situation like that when you were younger? Did you experience anything like that?
Yes.
Like, what was that
like I said, a lot of things from the book and the main character are depictions of me. Of course, I'm not going to specifically state what is or isn't. I know that's what you're trying to pull out. No, I'm not going to do that. But a lot of things that she's done, I have experienced. Let's just say that.
Oh, that's good. So have you grown from those experiences?
I have.
Okay.
I have. I definitely feel that it has made me the person that I am now. So going into dating or other relationships, I feel like I'm more aware and more cautious of things because I'm able to see those signs. So yeah.
All right. So tell us about like your other talents. Obviously now we see that you're an author. But before that, you were doing other things.
Music, singing, yes.
How long you've been singing, and what genre of music do you sing?
I would say neo soul, not so much R&B, but a little bit, a kind of different rhythm. So when you think of Jill Scott's Indie R&B, it's more so that kind. So neo soul. I stopped. Well, I haven't stopped singing. I do still sing, just for fun. But professionally, it just got to the point where if you don't have management or producers that take you seriously and don't want to just get into your pants, it's kind of hard to further your career.
Oh my God!
Like it's extremely hard to further your career without having, excuse my language, to give out the pussy. So, and
wow, that's
I just
crazy.
feel like I'm not going to sell myself short and give that up just to be popular. So
how about albums? Have you done anything like, or singles? Do you have anything that people can listen to?
as of now, no.
No. What about from the past?
Yeah, I do. I've had several singles, but of course, I'm sure you are aware of how that works with producers and paying them for it, and them having the rights and them being able to keep it. So
you can't release them even on YouTube or anything like that, or SoundCloud.
not
to share them
without their permission.
Not without their permission. Okay. So what about, because I've heard Orri sing. Orri has a beautiful voice, and what I would love to do is sometimes I think about doing some projects with my poetry, because you write poetry too.
I do.
I know you write poetry, exactly, and I write a lot of stuff. So sometimes I think about like collaborating with reggae artists, with soulful singers like yourself, to do things, and I think I'd like to do that. You're not under any label or anything like that right now.
No.
Okay. Well, I hope you get back into a situation where you make that voice, like, do what it's supposed to be doing.
maybe these little projects that I'm doing will bring me out into the light.
Well, you're in the light right now, baby. We would put you on the spot if you wasn't in this little small confined space.
I know.
With all these people around. But yeah, tell us about the modeling, because I noticed you you know, when I first met you, that's what you were doing. You were doing modeling and different things. Are you still doing that?
I still am doing the modeling right now. It's been on hold. I just had a baby a year ago, so I've been working on getting my physique back first before I get back in front of the camera.
So when is the book coming out?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet?
It hasn't even been edited yet.
Yeah, it's not finished editing it? Okay. You know what? I'm still good friends with Omar Tyree.
Really?
Yes. He still has his connections to that world.
Okay.
But you know, I have connections too, and like I can help you out with certain things.
Haven't you written a book before?
I've written and published several books.
You have?
Like Haru's books are all books published under my
I told
company.
him he needs to come out with a 2. You need to come out with a 2. I've already read that book like 3 times.
Oh really?
It's so good.
Man, what that book? I wish I brought a copy with me so I could have you talk about it, because I know he'll appreciate anything that you
What's
have to
it
say.
called? Beautiful Woman?
Show me a beautiful
Show me
woman.
a beautiful woman.
What did you think of it?
I love it. I love the twist in it. I love the fact that I thought as the story was going on that this was a guy that met a woman that was able to change him and make him settle down or just be with her. But it actually had a twist. He wanted to be with her and he loved her, cared for her, but at the end it was like, I don't want to waste her time because I know that I'm not going to change being who I am. At least that was my perspective of it, and I've already read it 3 times, so that was my perspective. What did you take from it? Did you read it?
I read it, edited it, helped to get it printed up and everything.
What'd
So
you think
I
of
thought
it?
it was a great book. I mean, Haru has one of those super creative minds, and you know, he goes in some very interesting places philosophically with things.
I saw
And
that. Him
he'll
hitting the best friend,
definitely
too.
pull you in when it comes to, you know, the way he tells his stories and everything. So I think it's a great book. I mean, right now he's selling it, you know, and I wanna make this point to everybody out there, because like a lot of times people see us with these products. Like ORRI's coming out with her book soon, right? A lot of people see these products and they don't realize what it takes to make these things happen.
Right.
It takes months and months, sometimes even years, depending on how much research and writing you do, to put all this thing together, to get it edited up, to get it printed, and
you know
then
when I started online.
yes, you've been working on it years ago. So after you do all of that and you get it out there, you know, you still have to find a way of how to not distribute it.
Right.
And so what we've done, what me, Haru, and some of my other friends have done over the years is when I just started out making books, I told them we have to become the stores. We can't just put it in the store and wait for people to walk into it. We have to become the store and take the product to the people. So even as we're speaking right now, he's out there in New York City, either on the subway train or in the streets walking around selling his book. That's how he sells them. That's how he gets it out. And a lot of people look, sometimes see you out there doing that and probably, you know, say, why don't you just send it to Oprah? Why don't you send it here? And it always sounds easier than what it is.
Right.
But in a great sense, what he's doing is marketing. He's selling it, but he's also marketing it, because every day he's out there, he's coming across hundreds, if not thousands of people. Some who are taking the book to look at it, and some who are just shaking their head no, but they're seeing him over and over again. He's making an impression, and so eventually, when he reaches the right person, and all those sparks ignite, it will just make sense. People who supported him will be happy that he's finally like gotten the success that he's gotten. And it's not necessary for everybody, because everybody can't be out there walking around selling books on the train or whatever. You know what I mean? Some of us just, it's not in our spirit to do that. Just like when I got into real estate, they would tell me to walk around and knock on people's door, and I'm like, I can do it, but I know a lot of people can't. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't want to go up knock on somebody's door as a stranger. They just don't feel comfortable. They'd rather just sit on the phone and cold call or buy whatever they have to do. So for you have to find your own way, and hopefully whichever way that is, it works, because you know you work so hard on this book, and then you don't want to just have it sit on a shelf or not be read, you know. So if you have to go out there and get your friends or get people that you don't know to support it and read it, that's how your creativity is going to get its you know, it's acknowledgement. And a lot of people are just not brave enough to do it. But if it's you, you know what I mean? It's kind of like we get up every day to go to a job to go build somebody else's dreams. But when you create that book or you create that art, that's you.
You're right.
So you should be willing to go to the ends of the earth.
He needs to do like a video and have several different women that have read the book already.
Yeah.
Just kind of giving their perspective and how what they take from it.
But
She
he,
did.
you know, we did a couple of videos from the book.
You did?
Yes, there's a couple of videos on the book on his site, Heru Mine. If you go to YouTube, Heru Mine, there's a couple of videos that we shot.
I'll make note of that so I can check that later.
Where we shot scenes from the book, you know, and it was cool.
Like
it was
it's
cool.
so the way his way of writing is just so vivid that I feel that if he was to turn it into a movie, that would be a really dope movie.
Have you read a hip hop story?
Herumine, Herumind.
Umind. Yeah.
Have I read what?
A hip hop story. That's his first novel.
I haven't read it.
I'm gonna get a copy for you. We
Is there
published
somewhere that you could buy it?
You could buy it off the website, but I'll get you a copy. I have copies here.
Okay. Is it good?
And that book, I'm gonna tell you what that book, right? This is what I'm talking about when I say eventually sparks will connect. When we published that book, and we're out there selling, we're selling on the trains, on the street, and he sold this last copy one day on the A train to a white guy, and the white guy happened to be the director of publishing for MTV Books.
Wow.
Read the book, loved it.
And contacted him. I'm
Called us
assuming.
back the next day, made an offer to publish it under their imprint. Now, while all of that was going on, somebody that he met also at a function had a connection to USA Today. They did a story and it ended up on the front page of the arts section. The New York Times got wind of it. They came and did a story on it.
Wow.
CNN came and did a story. ABC did a special.
Wow. I need to read
I
the
mean,
book.
it was
What's
crazy.
it about?
It's a hip hop story. It's kind of like you seen what's the name of that show? Damn, I had it in my mind and it just slipped me. With Leonardo DiCaprio and with Romeo and Juliet, the two houses, fighting against each other. It just basically is like two different sides of the same coin. One guy, he both rappers, but one gets signed, the other one builds his own thing.
Kind of sounds like what is it called? Have you ever seen Brooklyn Babylon?
I've heard of it, never seen it.
God, what is his name?
But that book, man,
That kind of sounds like Brooklyn Babylon. You should definitely see that movie. It's a really good movie. It's really old.
yeah, it got like, I mean, it got a lot of media on it. And at one point we even had MTV Films interested in making it into a movie. Then we had Moonline, we had Paramount Pictures. We had a lot of people
So
calling.
what is he doing with it now? What's he doing? Because he sounds like several
MTV
offers.
Books basically owns has some rights to it. I don't know what rights exactly, because like when you publish a book, there's a whole bunch of rights in it. You know what I mean? You just don't, it's not just the publishing rights. You have the
Right.
publishing rights, and you have the theatrical rights, you have the stage rights, you have like all different kind of rights tied up into it. So I believe they just have the publishing rights. They might have others as well. And so, it didn't sell as much as I think they anticipated. And they kind of had something to do with that because they messed up the design. If I show you the original cover that we had when we printed it versus the one that they did, you'd see the reason why it didn't sell.
And the cover does have a lot to do.
I mean,
with
our
books.
first cover had two guys standing across each other with the city in the background and the mic in the middle of them. And it was done by this very talented artist called Machindo. Their cover had some guy standing up with his fist out like this and had like African cowrie shells or teeth on his finger, and I'm like, what the hell does this have to do with hip hop? It was like such a disconnect. But we're excited about your book. I can't wait to support it, to read it, to just see all the gems and all the different angles that you've twisted in it and made it
It's going
to
to
be
a
what
good
it is.
story, and I'm sure you're going to pick out a couple parts that you'll be like, oh,
Wow, I know this. I bet I could figure this part
I
out.
can figure that out. It's It's a really good book, though.
So how is life here in Charlotte?
Life is good. I love Charlotte.
Are
Charlotte's
you
good.
traditionally, have you always been here or?
No. Born in Texas, lived in Fort Lauderdale, New York. That's about it. And then Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
And you're Jamaican at the same time, all in the mix.
All in the
So
mix.
y'all look pan a yardie right, that's how you know.
Yeah.
See it.